Was good. Got a new mic once again. So I got a whole mic for Christmas, and it's really sick because there's like settings and stuff. I'm actually recording with the fan on. Not only that, but I'm actually very close to the whole podcasting thing. Probably gonna do a podcast probably within the next week or two. However, my friend and I had a conversation about what kind of events that we've had in our lives that kind of served as like a canon event, if you know what I mean. To those of you who don't know, I mean events that have happened in your lives that have caused very drastic life changes. And so we were having this conversation. I was just thinking about all the events that have happened to me in my recent years, and I've realized that I've really changed a lot. And so yeah, we're talking about coming of age pretty much. And so before all of this, starting from my freshman high school year all the way up to my senior year, I was very carefree, but at the same time I was extremely aware of my situation, aware of my wants and my dislikes, but I haven't really fully grasped the reality of it yet. So throughout high school, I was definitely the type of person who never stopped complaining about the purpose of the schoolwork that we've done. And so for schoolwork, I had a basic understanding of the discipline behind it, but nothing more than that. And so I kind of just did the work. Outside of school, life was pretty much the carefree kid. I just never stopped playing games, just like having fun, trying to get as much of my youth days as much as I can before I transition into the adult world in college. Naive was probably the perfect word that I could describe myself as back then. So it was just this never-ending search, what I could be doing with my life forever. What is that one thing that I could just keep on going and going, you know, with that passion? And that's why I had this whole YouTube thing going on. I was just trying to find ways to connect with all the things that I've enjoyed and try to see which ones worked out. And that's why when I went to college, I decided to take on film, because I was always about that whole creativity thing. I thought I was going to be able to leverage the film degree that I was taking on, but like somewhere along the lines, I threw that shit out of the door, right? So it was definitely a lot of trial and error, especially in the upcoming events that I moved out. And you can see how much a lot had compact within those years before where I am now. And so I'm 22 now. I definitely don't feel old, but I definitely feel like I've gotten older here, mentally. I definitely have an old school mentality mixed in with some new school. I was never one to be sticking to a certain tradition. I've always liked to kind of mold and like add things in, try to be more efficient as much as I can, right? The point of this video is to highlight where I am right now. I do feel like I've garnered a lot of experience within a short amount of time, but then on the other side of my brain, I'm thinking like, you're still 22. It's still old enough to be doing some adult things, and you can't afford to be careless anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's like this sense of urgency that I've gained. And so a lot of the times I do think about my situation. I do like where I am at right now, but there's always something better out there, you know? And so I think about like little habits, like instead of wasting your time thinking about these thoughts to yourself, why don't I just make a video and like share them to the people? And so I'm not here to try to tell everybody how to live their lives. Everyone's different in their own ways, but if I were to share what was the biggest change in my life, it was probably right after my first year of college, where out of nowhere I just told my dad that I was taking the year off of school, because at that moment, that was the strongest that I felt that some change needed to happen, because my life leading up to that very moment was always about making do with the situation that I was in. So the narrative for me was always going to school, doing the work, but I've always tried to find ways to incorporate what I wanted into it. That's why I had the whole film degree and going to college, because I was just mixing the two ideas together. I was mixing the two wants between myself and my parents, the expectations, up until that very moment where I felt like, no, this is not enough, and I feel like I'm wasting so much time and effort, money too especially, into this meaningless path that I even question whether if I can even leverage or not, you know? And so after that, my life pretty much just took a whole 180 turn. I've experienced some pretty worldly things, like paying my own rent, living on my own, living with people who I practically did not know at all, getting kicked out. That was an interesting part, but I'll save that story on like a later date. And so fast forward to now. Would I have changed what has happened to me in the past? Would I have done better? And if I'm gonna be honest, I probably wouldn't. And the reason for that is because all of these things like the point of this video, really has done a number on me. There were a lot of insight and experience that kind of made me the old man that I am now, but at the same time with a lot of life to live. And so because of that, I do have a better vision of how I'm going to tackle my life and fulfill it at the same time. It could definitely be better, of course, but I'm also very curious what other kind of worldly changes could also happen to me if I've already gone through all that other stuff. And so if you're watching this video, enlighten me. What kind of epiphanical events that has happened to you? And that's pretty much it for the video. Sick mic. Can't wait to make more videos with this thing. I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.